AITA for ruining my parents' marriage by finding my bio father and exposing my mom's lies? My name is Alex. Welcome to Reddit Tales. I, 19-year-old male, always knew my dad wasn't my bio dad, and it was never a huge deal. I knew I was loved either way. Mom always told us my bio father hadn't wanted to be a dad and walked away once he learned she was pregnant. Okay, so far this sounds pretty standard. Blended family, loving stepdad situation. But something tells me this is about to get messy. When I was 12, I started struggling with health issues, and we were repeatedly asked for family medical background. Mom swore she reached out to ask Bio for any insight on his side, but he refused to give it. At the time, we were told it would be ideal to find out more if we could, but if not, we would do our best to treat me. Oh wow, medical issues at 12? That's already stressful enough without missing half your family history. My dad and I talked about it a lot, and he comforted me when I was upset that this guy who made me hated me so much that he wouldn't even help for a medical problem. It meant added complications and always having to explain to new doctors I was referred to that I only had half my family medical history and could not get more. And really, it just sucked to think he cared so little if I could be seriously ill or not. This is heartbreaking. Imagine being a kid thinking your biofather hates you so much he won't even help save your life. That would mess anyone up. A year ago, my aunt, mom's sister, told me that things might not be like they seemed, and maybe it would be a good idea to search for answers myself. She said the worst that could happen is he refuses to answer or gets mad at me for making contact. I asked her what she meant by things not being what they seemed, but she was tight-lipped on it, so I did a 23andMe. Hold up, the aunt is dropping cryptic hints? This is giving me major red flag vibes. Something is definitely not adding up here. I ended up matched with a paternal aunt, and from there, Mom's lies were exposed to me. What? Mom's lies were exposed? Oh no, this is about to get so much worse than I thought it would. My paternal aunt was shocked to learn about me, and she told me she was 100% certain her brother had no idea either. She was a go-between us for at first to help set up contacting and a face-to-face meeting. When we met, he had medical info waiting for me, and he told me it was a thing I inherited from his side, and he would be a donor if I ever needed one. He was also apologizing the whole time for not knowing me, and he swore he was never told Mom was pregnant. Are you kidding me right now? This man had no idea he had a son, and he immediately had medical info ready and offered to be a donor? This is the complete opposite of what Mom said. They broke up because she cheated, and he never heard from her again, or her sister, aunt, who pushed me to search, who he got along with during his relationship with Mom. The medical info helped, and I told him I'd have way more questions once I processed. So Mom cheated, never told this poor man he had a child, and let her own son suffer medically for years? I am absolutely floored right now. Then I went to talk to Mom. At first, she said it was all lies. Then asked why I searched without saying anything, and when I told her why, she admitted it was true. She said she met Dad after the guy she cheated on my biofather with left her, and she came up with the lie so we could be a normal family. And she never told my biofather about me even after I got sick because she wanted to keep things as they were. The audacity of this woman! She literally watched her child struggle with health issues and still chose to keep this massive lie going. I cannot believe what I'm hearing. My dad was hurt, but so was I. He was mad she denied my biofather and me the chance to know each other, but also that she lied to him the whole time they had known each other. He felt like she made him complicit in keeping me and my biofather apart. And he was super angry she was willing to make my health stuff more difficult because I didn't have the full background, rather than do the right thing and expose her lies years ago for my sake. The stepdad is absolutely right to be furious. She made him an unknowing accomplice in this deception for years. The medical info I got was actually helpful for my medical team, so it was worth it in that sense. But it has ruined my relationship with Mom, and my parents' marriage is done. Dad wants a divorce and already moved out of their house. My siblings blame me for it because they know what went down between us all. AITA? This poor kid is asking if he's the problem? Absolutely not. The mom created this entire mess with her web of lies and selfishness. And if you thought that family drama was intense, wait until you hear what happened in the next story. Reddit tale, AITA for ruining my GF's worldview about bees? AITA for ruining my GF's worldview and making her rethink her entire adult life?
My GF 33-year-old female, Jan, fake name, and myself, 39M, have been together right around 6 months. Jan loves bumblebees. She has a bumblebee tattooed on her forearm pretty prominently, which she receives many compliments on. She loves pinning insects and making shadow boxes, mostly based around bumblebees. She was even super excited to get one of the Minecraft bee toys that came in the Happy Meals a few months ago. Okay, this woman is really into bumblebees. Like, this is a whole aesthetic and lifestyle choice. Where is this going? She's told me that her love for bumblebees comes from when she was a child. She would sit on her parents' front porch and loved watching the bumblebees flying all around her and would just sit out there watching them for a long time. Until one day she saw that they'd been killed or run off by wasps, and it made her really sad. Aw, that's actually such a sweet origin story for her bee obsession. Childhood memories like that can really shape who we become. Well, this past weekend we were at Jan's parents' house and we're sitting on the front porch and she mentioned the story again, except this time she pointed to a wooden sign hanging from the eaves with holes bored into the back of it and added that that's where the bees lived before the wasps moved in. It was at this moment I informed her that those weren't bumblebees, but carpenter bees. Oh no, I can already see where this is heading and it's about to be devastating. She started kind of laughing/crying at this point because her entire worldview had been shattered. She had built her entire love of bumblebees and a large part of her personality around this misconception. Got a tattoo of a bumblebee, pinning bumblebees, etc. She's even starting to look closer at some of the shadow boxes that she's made or purchased and realize the bees inside are in fact carpenter bees. Even TikTok is calling her out now. The algorithm is really rubbing salt in the wound. Now I feel terrible for absent-mindedly correcting her on the type of bee and basically crushing her whole worldview. I've told her that her love and memories haven't changed, just the name, and that most people aren't going to know any different anyway unless you tell them that the bee tattoo isn't the same kind of bee that you grew up loving. I mean, I didn't even notice the inconsistency until I was sitting there and was looking at the sign in person with the burrow holes. But this doesn't give her much comfort. This guy's trying so hard to fix what he accidentally broke, but honestly, how do you come back from your entire bee-based identity is wrong? So am I TA for basically crushing my girlfriend's childhood memories and making her rethink her entire life and personality to a degree? Edit, as I just wanted to clarify as it's been brought up a few times. Maybe I exaggerated a little much saying it ruined her worldview. But bees aren't her entire personality. She has many other interests and hobbies and loves besides bees. But bees are a core memory, so a big part of her personality. And that's what the story was about, so I didn't add information about irrelevant hobbies and interests. And while it did ruin her worldview concerning bees and that part of her personality, it didn't ruin her entire life or send her into some kind of spiral. Well, at least he's clarifying that she's not having a complete existential crisis over this, but still, imagine having to mentally reorganize years of your life because you've been loving the wrong type of bee.